Whoa! Welcome one and all to Puppet History! Today we'll be taking an ever-winding look at yet another chapter in the heavy book we call history, while our guests ruthlessly compete for the coveted capsules and title of History Wizard. I'm your beloved host, the Professor. Thank you. Please clap.
Okay.
Yes. I appreciate it. That's so kind. You didn't have to do that. Oh, Ryan Bergara, you're here. Are you ready?
Yeah, I am here. Good morning.
Good to see ya. Oh, special guest Brennan Lee Mulligan. Are you ready?
I am ready, and thank you for having me, Professor.
It's a pleasure to have you. Well, it sounds like we're ready to crack in. Okay. Hey, now, to begin, you ever take any fashion risks? White after Labor Day? Maybe a plunging neckline or a tight pair of shorts?
No.
No, you play it safe.
Play it safe every day.
Yeah, I play it pretty safe too. I don't really have any fashion sense at all, so I don't know what fashion is. I just kind of put clothes on and go out the door.
You guys almost look identical today.
He has a polo on and I have a t-shirt. But yeah, sure, we're wearing the same exact thing.
Yeah. It's bright. It's bright on the stage today.
It's bright. I didn't wear my white t-shirt. I didn't get the memo.
Didn't wear your pants either, huh? Despite many complaints.
Yep, forgot those again. Okay, well, moving along, our story today is all about fashion. Bold fashion, daring fashion, dangerous fashion. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to riot. We're going to be talking about the Straw Hat Riots. Have you heard of these?
Oh, I believe the name is familiar, but I don't know them. I haven't read about them.
Just shaking a little tambourine?
No, not
up in
even
that
a little
noodle
bit.
of yours?
Not even a little bit.
No,
I've
nothing?
never heard of these once.
I've heard of the Zoot Suit riots.
Whoa, those must have been something. Those Cherry Poppin' well, just realizing right now how gross that band name is.
Cherry Poppin'?
Yeah, they gotta.
Reading it is fine, and then you say it out loud, and you're like, I need to leave.
Yeah.
I think reading it's pretty gross too.
Yeah, yikes. Well, in the January 16th, 1797 edition of the Times of London, a blurb appeared about one John Hetherington, who posted a £500 bond on charges of, quote, breach of the peace and inciting to riot. As the article details, several women fainted at the unusual sight, while children screamed, dogs yelped, and a young man was thrown down by the crowd which had collected and had his right arm broken.
What was the sight?
That's a great question, Ryan. Woo! Our first trivia question. Oh, get ready. What had John Hetherington done? This is an open-ended question, but draw the unusual sight that caused even the dogs to get upset. Brendan, I don't know your artistic skills in terms of drawing, but they're probably better than Ryan's.
Who wrote this on my board?
What?
The fucking Riddler here or something? Don't believe his lies? What does that mean?
I
Who's writing things on my board again?
don't know, man. That's weird. Brendan just locked in. Look at him go. I love to see it.
I'm so competitive that occasionally I make bad television.
Oh.
Pure silence.
What would he have seen? What would they have seen?
What would they have seen? And Brian, remember, I'm asking you to draw it.
I'm a really bad drawer, though.
Well, you gotta draw. Can we put some simmering music under Brennan here? Because this is very intense.
I'm locked in.
Whoa!
Jesus Christ!
And I'm done.
Oh my God!
You were goofing. I was winning.
Well, I was trying to figure out what the lies were.
You know, I already respect the guy. I'm giving him a jelly bean just for his tenacity. Let's give him a jelly bean over there. Yeah.
Yes! I love the Pride jelly beans on the mug. That's so nice.
Yeah, you know,
Lovely.
plenty of jelly beans to go around.
Okay.
Doing some nice foreshortening.
Great,
2-point
great.
perspective.
Got it.
Okay. Ryan, what do you got?
I couldn't really think of anything, so I thought of the one thing that made me really scream, and I could imagine dogs yelping, and it was somebody doing a very unfortunate guitar solo where something happened in the crotch area.
This is your depiction of that time Lenny Kravitz's pants split open on stage.
That's correct.
Okay.
This is the time when Lenny Kravitz's pants split open while he was wearing tight leather pants.
Okay. You seem maybe too obsessed with this small
It's a very
event.
funny clip.
And
I imagine it would be very funny back in the day.
How many times do I have to tell you we are not going to do an episode solely about that?
I mean, until we actually do it, in which case you have to stop saying
All right, maybe next season. Brandon, what do you got?
This could maybe be a little bit cheating, and you have to tell me. I've drawn a straw hat with the caption, "This but strange."
Yes. You know what? You kind of nailed it.
Yes!
Yeah, let's
Wait
give
a
you another
second.
jelly bean for Brandon.
Woo!
Wait, he just basically said scary with an arrow.
Yeah, but he's kind of exactly right. As Mr. Hetherington, a haberdasher from the Strand, quote, appeared on the public highway wearing upon his head what he called a silk hat, a tall structure having a shining luster and calculated to frighten timid people. They beat the shit out of him, man, because of his strange hat.
That's a bad calculation on his part. I think people will be terrified by my hat, and instead they just jump you and beat the shit out of you.
Have you ever seen somebody wear something that was so off-putting that you actually did get upset?
I'm from New York, and there's a guy who walks around with a cat on his head, and that's your training for don't worry about what other people are doing. Head down, face forward, keep moving.
Did he have a hat on his head too?
He did. He's sort of a notorious jerk. He had the backwards baseball cap, cat on his head, and tourists would be like, oh my God, this fella has a cat on his head. And he'd
Don't
be
do
like,
it.
If you take a picture, that's $40.
Yeah.
He would just scam people.
So he's baiting you. He's baiting
He's
you
baiting, and
with
you're
his
like,
cat and his hat.
You're like, man, I didn't make you put a cat on your head. You put a cat on your head. People are going to take pictures, you know?
You beat the shit out of this guy?
And we jumped and we beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. Ryan and I deal with this all the time when we walk around Los Angeles.
With your tall silk hats?
Oh, well, no, I sit on Ryan's head, and people try to take pictures of us, and we spit on them.
Yes, we do.
I mean,
we
I
give
do,
them the
'cause-
business.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, moving right along. Nay, nay. Howdy, Professor. Oh, Elmer Walter Williams. Love the hat, man. Why, thank you, partner. I'm headed up the road to a cowboy disco convention this very afternoon. Well, that sounds like a rowdy time. Oh, it will be. And while I travel to a land where I'll lasso dummies and eat barbecue in the sun, I want to feel as secure as I am at home, which is a stable because that's where horses live. And I can, thanks to today's sponsor, NordVPN. Well, that sounds fun. NordVPN lets me browse the web from anywhere on the trail, with the comfort knowing that my online traffic is not tracked or shared because of my hidden, dedicated IP address and robust encrypted network. You can check out the deal via this link. That sounds very secure. Yes, and I've learned that outside of personally looking out for urgent messages and misspellings in emails, NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro offers advanced protection from malware, phishing, scams, and other online threats.
So if you're downloading a file,
Well, the feature checks it for malware.
well, what about annoying pop-ups?
Haha, no belly aching over here.
Oh, what in tarnation? This sounds wonderful.
Yes, and you know where I got this hat? Online! The Threat Protection Pro feature beefs up your privacy, especially when online shopping. This feature has blocked millions of attempts to access fake shops, working within the app and covering all browsers and activity in just one click.
Wow.
Yes, join me and get 4 months extra on a 2-year plan here at nordvpn.com/watcher. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, it's time to skedaddle. Yeehaw, Professor! Clump, clip, clump, 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 clump.
Yeehaw, indeed. Again, that's nordvpn.com/watcher. Now, where were we? Yes. Now, today we see the story of hats in America as one of declining influence. Men wear hats to signify allegiance to a billionaire sports franchise, smush down their unwashed hair, or pretend they're not going bald. Not long ago, however, the hat occupied a role of importance and prestige. Take Hamlet, for instance. Ophelia believed the titular prince had gone mad because he came to her with, quote, no hat upon his head. When Moby Dick was released, if you didn't own at least one top hat, you weren't shit. The term hatless first came about around the American Civil War, and it was used to signify someone was basically a wretched mess. Hatless and hopeless meant basically the same thing.
I kind of wish I lived back in the time when like a fedora was the thing that people would wear.
It's really tricky when you aspire to like, oh, I want to look like Indiana Jones, or I want to
Yeah.
look like...
That's tough.
Well, I don't know if I want to quite look like Indiana Jones. I just want to wear one of those cool hats.
But the problem is, I think that everything is contextual. As someone who worked with a lot of kids who LARPed
Yeah.
and would dress up like that, they'd be like, I had Indiana Jones's fedora, and I'm like, right. But the fedora looks cool because Indiana Jones is running away from a boulder.
Yeah.
You're playing Magic the Gathering at a table covered in peanut butter and jelly stains.
Yeah.
Hey, just let me live my dreams, man. I just want to wear a funny hat.
I'm trying to, let me.
We're all
be clear.
trying to let you
We're all
live your
trying to
dreams.
get you over the top so you can live your Indiana Jones dreams. I'm trying to say yes hat, but also yes boulder.
Ron, you got to get out there and get dirty with some boulders, you know?
Get some boulders.
Get some boulders in you.
I feel like you two are about to beat the shit out of
We're
me.
not gonna do that, but
3.
not yet.
Oh no! Also, bold of you to do a hat episode and not wear your hat, despite everyone wanting you to wear a hat.
I don't like the way it makes my little face look.
Okay, Jesus Christ, struck a nerve, I suppose. Oh my God.
This is why people sometimes try to play it safe. You know, there's big feelings around
There's
fashion.
big feelings around hats.
Is this why nobody at the dropout office wears a hat?
We don't wear hats.
No hats allowed.
Illegal.
Too many incidents.
By the 20th century, Helen Rowland was writing for the September 1922 edition of the Brooklyn Daily Eagle, quote, "The average man's devotion to his hat is one of life's greatest mysteries." This, of course, during the time when people were pretty sure aliens lived on Mars. But still, hats! Helen continues, "It seems to be something sacred in his life, which he cherishes and protects as passionately as he does his dignity, his honor, and his grandmother's memory. He will fight for it, quarrel over it, and risk his life under a motor truck or a trolley car to salvage its remains." Rawlings being a bit dramatic, but the sentiment stands. Men were awfully particular about their hats.
I mean, hats kick ass.
I mean, you find a good hat, yeah, you'll go to the ends of the earth for that thing.
This is the perfect thing for the lazy man. I don't like doing my hair, so I just slap a hat on.
Yeah, we can tell.
It's funny. It's a funny guy. You said you weren't going to do this again in front of a guest, but whatever, dude. It's fine.
Do you think that part of the people's affection and attachment to their hats was because they did not have television at that time?
I was gonna say, they got
That's
nothing.
true.
No television.
Nothing going on.
No iPad.
I'm picturing a father being like, "All right, children, it's getting close to bedtime. Let's all take a half hour to admire father's hat.
Look,
Gather around the table."
Well, if that sounds strange, don't forget that hats do still confer meaning and status in our society today. Think of all the unspoken yet well understood meaning behind crowns, construction helmets, chef toes, Pharrell, and the Pope's funny topper. There ain't just rabbits hiding in hats, but cultural significance that lasts millennia. What's going on with that Pope hat?
I don't know. It's pretty funny, though, isn't it?
I know. Is that called a mitre?
A mitre.
Yeah.
How'd you know that off the
A
hip?
jelly bean for Brennan!
Yes, we're up to 3.
Unbelievable. People don't really like crowns nowadays.
A BK crown?
Burger King crown.
Yeah.
You're right.
Everyone's a king at the BK.
That is true.
I have a crown back here.
Oh. Nice.
That's a hat for your teeth.
You're right. A jelly bean for Brennan.
This guy's fucking racking them in.
Now, throughout those millennia, there has always been the in crowd. And then there's been the rest of us. People want to be popular, but you don't stay popular by letting everyone be popular. And thus, rules get invented to separate the real ones from the losers. And hats are a quick and clear way to judge people. That's how we get things like Straw Hat Day and Felt Hat Day. You both seem pretty cool.
Okay, thank you.
Huge for me. Thank
So
you.
this should be pretty easy. When is Straw Hat Day?
You're looking for a calendar date.
A calendar date. I'll give you a little flexibility on this one. I'll give you like 2 weeks.
A 2-week window?
Sure.
The thing is, I never hear about Straw Hat Day, so I'm trying to figure out a date where it clearly got overshadowed.
Ryan, what do you got?
This is going strictly off logic. Something had to happen on this day for me to forget about Straw Hat Day, so I went with 9/11.
Oh, God.
Now, that's only because
I'm from New York.
I'm from New York. 9/11.
I'm from New
I'm
York.
from New York. From New York.
you would not be thinking about straw hats ever from that day forward, right? It's a logical pick.
You know what? I'm rescinding a jelly bean.
It's a logical pick.
Does that put
Does
him
that
at
put Ryan at negative
Does that
1
put him at
jelly
negative
bean?
1?
Ryan owes you a jelly bean.
Yeah. Sorry, Ryan. Shame on you.
I thought it was a fairly logical
Shame on
pick.
you. Okay. Brennan, what'd you put?
Well, I also attempted to utilize logic. I did not utilize Ryan's exact logic.
Well, that's
but
good.
Well, that's your mistake.
I went for around what time would people typically wear straw hats?
Right.
I said May 27th,
Okay.
but, you know, I could be wrong.
I even gave you a 2-week window, and you got in that 2-week window, brother.
Are you
For real?
Yes,
Are
you
you
did.
fucking kidding?
Yes, you did.
That's unbelievable. This is collusion. They clearly.
It's not collusion.
It's
He's
collusion.
just a
You
smart
guys
guy.
fucking figured it out before
Just
the
get
shit.
on his wavelength, man.
Get on my level.
You're just not ready for the truth.
Well, that's going to be a point for Brennan. Unbelievable. Surprising.
What is the actual date?
What's the actual date?
The actual date that marks the beginning of Straw Hat season is May 15th. Yeah.
That's incredibly
God.
impressive.
And we were going to zip right past this, but you know what? Whoa! When is Felt Hat Day? Oh, once again, I'll give you a 2-week window. All right, Ryan, what do you got?
I put 11/11.
You said November 11th.
That's right.
Okay.
The reason being is just like he had good logic before, and he was saying, what season would you wear a felt hat? I
Right.
feel like this is a very kind of wintry feel.
Sure. Brennan, what'd you put?
Very close. I put November 15th.
Okay. Now, this is actually ironic, because if either of you put 9/11, you would have gotten a point.
No
because
fucking way,
Well,
dude.
it's not 9/11, but the date is actually September 15th, which marks the end of Straw Hat season.
I should have just went with the same logic as before.
Yeah. You're both living dangerously, so let's make sure you understand the gravity of this.
Wait, technically I was closer though, so I should get that jelly bean.
You know what? We'll give you a jelly bean. But does it even feel good to get that?
At least you're not in hock for a jelly bean.
Yeah.
That's
You're
right.
flat. You broke
Yeah, we got you
I'm
back
no
to
longer
zero.
in the hole.
He's back to zero, folks.
Hey, yeah, that's a start, baby.
Yeah.
I'm 0.
In the early 1900s, it was considered a clear and flagrant etiquette violation to be seen in public wearing the wrong hat at the wrong time. Stockbrokers, forever being Wolf of Wall Street dude bros who can only express their insecurity by horsing around, would playfully grab each other's straw hats on September 15th and smash them on the ground.
So the stockbrokers, you said they would horse around?
Yeah, horse around.
That's really alarming. I just think the idea of stockbrokers giggling and running after each other on Wall Street.
You get sort of Clockwork Orange vibes from that.
Yeah, I was gonna say my idea of a stockbroker horsing around is more like Patrick Bateman, like running naked through a hallway with a chainsaw.
Plastic up on the walls. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Hootie and the Blowfish in the background or some shit like
Hootie.
that.
I don't think he ever blasted Hootie, but I'd love to see that
I'd love
cut.
to see that, dude. He was a Huey Lewis and the News guy, but Hootie, no, that would be a good.
I have to say, if I'm gonna be serial killed, I really don't want Huey Lewis in the News playing.
What's the best song to be serial killed to?
Something scary,
The Tarzan soundtrack?
just so that there's not cognitive dissonance.
What
right?
about the Tarzan soundtrack?
Oh, not Phil Collins.
You'll be in my heart.
Yeah.
Just chopping my head off. Honestly, I would like to get killed to something I would enjoy. I would like my last moments on Earth to be like, good song though.
Well, like music from the Disneyland Electric Parade or something.
That would be fucking baller.
I hope that happens for you. In 1921, the New York Times reported that the Pittsburgh Stock Exchange was extending the date, and that, quote, straw hats may be worn with all the propriety and dignity attached thereto until and including October 1st. When the fashion rules in Pittsburgh are newsworthy enough to make the New York Times, you know it's serious.
I don't believe anybody should be able to tell anybody what they can or can't wear.
I agree.
I mean, obviously there are some limits. You should probably not like show up to like a restaurant naked or something like that. Or
Did you ever have, like when you were a kid, the first time you saw the no shirt, no shoes, no service, were you the kind of kids that went like, what about pants?
Yeah. They don't let me into most restaurants on account of,
well,
my little butt cheeks hanging out.
So,
You got questions?
yeah, follow up.
Yeah.
In canon, which of course I refer to the real world as canon.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
In canon, you have legs, a butt cheeks. Oh my God, great. And then everything downstairs is 1-to-1 with human anatomy.
I wouldn't say 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Do you know what a cloaca is?
Do you have more history facts, or should we?
Yeah,
keep
why
going?
don't we move on to that?
Great,
Yeah.
wonderful.
No, let's get more into the lore of his profusy. I'd love to hear about it.
Well, as we saw with crypto, however, it doesn't take long for the toxic and nonsensical customs of stockbrokers to seep out and infect the broader world. It wasn't long before any man stepping outside of fashions, assimilating boundaries, risked being mocked and assaulted. As the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette predicted in September of 1910, quote, "It is all right for stockbrokers on the exchange to destroy one another's hats if they like to, on the principle that everything goes among friends. But no man likes to have his hat snatched from his head by somebody he has not yet been introduced to. There will be sure to be a number of obstinate gentlemen who will coolly proceed to treat the fun-making as a physical assault and defend themselves in a manner which will spoil the fun for all concerned." What the fuck? Now, I'm sure the Post-Gazette is just being paranoid. There's no way this tradition will get out of hand.
Was there like not a lot going on in history at the time for them to be writing this much about this in a newspaper?
It's the 1920s, you know, there's been more exciting decades, certainly.
They had just outlawed alcohol, so it was sort of
They were,
it was a dry time, you know?
They're looking for fun.
Just a bunch of sober, hungover guys, bloodshot eyes. What if we all stole each other's hats?
The Richmond Virginian, March 22nd, 1911. Headline: Man with straw hat seen in Main Street. Venturesome Beau Brummel did not brave contact with pedestrians, but made hurried passage in taxicab. The entire article describes how some guy wore a straw hat and then got away.
And the guy was Beau Brummel?
His name was Beau Brummel.
Beau Brummel, he's the founder of the dandy movement, right? Beau
Is he
Brummel
really?
is the dandy, the first dandy.
What is the dandy movement?
He's a dandy.
We've got to.
I don't know. You the fucking history podcast.
I don't know what that means.
He's a dandy. Well, there were the fops that were before, and then Beau
fops, the
Brummel was a
dandies.
dandy, and he revolutionized men's fashion because he was kind of loose, and he showed his calves to anybody who'd look.
Whoa.
But if you say something's the start of the dandy movement, you wouldn't expect you to be stumped by what was the dandy movement.
Man, I only know like one thing about a lot of things.
I'm actually hearing from research that the Beau Brummel you're referring to preceded this Beau Brummel. We got 2 Beau Brummels! But you still get a jelly bean anyway for the name recognition alone.
Ow!
Honestly, you deserve it for knowing that.
Hey, I appreciate it. I just can't believe that there's a recurring Beau Brummel throughout history that keeps getting involved in fashion shenanigans.
Ryan, can you show us a little calf right now?
You're gonna have to pay extra for that.
I'll give you a jelly bean.
Okay, all right, wait, hold on. Actually, I'm always actually very embarrassed about my calves. I have these Bergara legs. It runs in my family. They just look like frog legs. There's really nothing going on.
Doesn't look like
there.
frog legs.
No matter how many calf raises I do, this is all that happens.
They're so shiny.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of hair on my skin.
That's
I'm
okay.
Asian, I'm like a seal.
You want some of mine?
What?
You can shave me.
I can't come to another studio and hear you can shave me.
The Washington Times, March 7th, 1911. Headline: First straw hat causes near riot on the Avenue. Quote: A small-sized riot was started on Washington's main promenade this afternoon by the appearance of a young man wearing a bright and shiny new straw hat. The hat and its wearer proceeded almost a block before pedestrians recovered from their daze. Then they set after the youth and surrounded him and fought with each other, then grabbing for the lid.
So was there like an inciting incident for why people were so angered by the sight of a straw hat, or did just everyone collectively decide anyone who wears a straw hat now is going to get the shit beat out of them?
I think they just didn't have much going on.
It started as a game between stockbrokers where they were like, hey, we're all part of a social cast together.
Yeah.
We fuck around with each other and we punch each other's straw hats and smash them. But then it like breached containment.
Right.
And then people were like, this is the day that society allows me to grab strangers' hats.
Right.
And of course you have people that take the game too far.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I have that on St. Patrick's Day where it's like, someone will come up to you and be like, uh-oh, you're not wearing green. Punch in the arm.
Yeah.
And you're
Nasty.
like, punch me in the arm and find out what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not playing this game.
Commerce and Finance, September 24th, 1919. Headline: Smashing the straw hat. Quote: The other day in New York, a person bent on mischief seized the hat of a man and proceeded to destroy it. The citizen happened to be a policeman in civilian clothes. He tried to arrest his assailant. There was a fight. The policeman drew his revolver and used it. The hat smasher was killed. Always and forever, ACAB.
Wait, sorry. Someone came up and took a cop's hat?
Yeah, basically it was a policeman in civilian clothing.
God.
And they were like, get your hat! And he had, what a shock, an itchy trigger finger, and just shot the man.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's say you're not an undercover cop. Let's say you're just a little guy enjoying the shade of your wide brim when suddenly some kid comes up and smashes your lid. Oh! What sort of justice could you expect? A, the smasher would have to reimburse the cost of the hat. B, the smasher would spend up to 7 days in jail. Or C, if you didn't want trouble, you shouldn't have been wearing a hat.
All right.
Ryan, what you got?
I put C, no cap.
Oh, very good, very funny. You're very with it.
Oh, thanks, man.
Brennan, what do you got?
B, incarceration.
Whoa, okay. Well, let's find out via the actual reported dialogue between a city employee and one magistrate Sweetser in night court.
Well, magistrate, I was sitting in Seward Park when a gang came up laughing at my hat. The defendant took it from my head and tore it.
Well, was it a new hat or a repeater?
Well, what has that to do with it? It was my personal property.
Well, you can get a new one if it was a repeater.
I am a city employee. I can't afford a new hat. Besides, that isn't the point. This isn't justice.
Well, straw hats have been called in. You're late anyway. Step down.
Wait,
I think you won.
I won.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's fucking insane. Wait, really? That judge basically said, nice straw hat, dork.
Yeah, sorry, brah. That's gonna be a jelly bean for Ryan. Look at him go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Comeback season, baby. Yeah.
Yes, if you're coming around Magistrate Sweetser's court, you best come correct. Is stuff like this funny? Yes, absolutely. I'll be on record supporting the idea that anyone should be able to destroy any hat at any moment. That's the hat donner's risk, after all. However, when it's no longer clear when laws are going to be enforced, the social contract starts to muddy. And then, well, who can say how tensions will resolve?
I mean, what would you do if someone took your hat off your head, threw it on the ground, started stomping on it, and started laughing in your face?
I'm seeing the rage in his eyes even as you're describing this.
You know, I was one of those. So here's the thing, right? I was a big dork growing up. I was a big old fucking nerd. And as I got into my teenage years and started to like actually make friends and be in community, there were things that like bro-y people did that really didn't jive. 'Cause if you miss it in middle school, it doesn't get in your bloodstream, it doesn't set in your bones.
Yeah.
So I remember being like 16 or 17 and a kid ran up to me and was like, slap fight, and slapped me in the face. And I punched him so hard in the head.
Good.
And everyone was like, that's not what we're doing. And I'm like, we either live in a society or we don't. It is either tea time and blankets and wind in the willows and we're having a picnic, or fucking don't go to sleep. Watch your back. I can't do.
You're locked in here with me.
I can't do like slight barbarism.
No.
It's got to be. We're all in or we're all out.
That's why rules are important.
Rules.
You know?
We love rules.
Yeah.
It didn't stop people from kicking my little rolling backpack in high school.
Oh.
And you know what I did?
What'd you do?
I said, stop it!
Yeah.
And they didn't stop.
Now, in the 1910s, reports of hat stomping were sporadic. The occasional prank by some peacocking punk. With each crushed crown, however, the line dividing the two sides deepened. On one, the hat-sporting public, wanting little more than to cover their heads in peace. On the other, the hat-hating youth, unable to express their kaleidoscope of frustrations with 20th century society except by snatching a hat and smashing it on the ground. Every straw hat season, anxiety built. By the early 20s, the lid was about to blow into a total catastrophe. The New York Tribune, Saturday, September 16th, 1922. Headline, Straw Hat Smashing Orgy bears heads from Battery to Bronx.
Wait.
I mean, they were just using it in the, sense of...
Oh, okay. I mean, you're using that pretty fast and loose.
It was a more innocent term then, I think.
Just picturing some like early 20th century reporter who's like, orgy of applause at last night's opera. And you're like, Craig, you're using the word orgy a lot in these headlines.
Well, this was more than the one-off humiliation of an unfashionable loser. This was a movement. Starting September 13th and going past the 15th, New York was home to the Straw Hat Riots. One of the areas where the Straw Hat Riots were centered, Mulberry Bend, was no stranger to fashionable violence. The area, known as the 5 Points, was for decades home to wave after wave of first-generation immigrants. In the 1850s, the Bowery Boys were one band of local toughs, sporting slicked hair, frock coats, boots, and top hats cocked at a 23-degree angle. The boys looked sharp, like a dandy, but with muscles to back it up. If you've ever seen Gangs of New York, it's those guys. And while they looked the part, the Bowery Boys in actuality hated the aristocratic element of society, and some interpret their wardrobe as actually making fun of the Broadway set. As George Foster wrote in 1850, quote, "Should a boy find a fop or a coxcomb in absolute distress, we fear his first impulse would be to laugh at him." Fast forwarding back to September of 1922, the Bowery Boys were gone, but their spirit was as much a part of the neighborhood as the buildings and sidewalks. In the Roaring '20s, that spirit seeped into the bored teenagers of Mulberry Bend. It was hot, and Twitch was still almost a century away from invention. Add to this the fact that these young men were suddenly under less supervision. Ooh! Why? A, the local gangsters had just moved out. B, the local police station had just been closed for remodeling. Or C, the local factories had started adding third shifts, so parents were around less. Brendan chasing after more jellies.
Gotta get the jellies.
He's not playing games, folks.
All right.
Brian, what do you got?
I put C, Dad's gone.
Dad's gone. Brian, what do you got?
I put B, remodeling.
Points to neither of you!
All right.
Yeah, that hurts me more than it hurts you.
You didn't sound hurt. You sounded happy about it.
Points to neither of you.
There we go.
Is that better? Yes, on August 29th, 1922, 2 weeks before the riots, the New York Times reported bootleggers moved their curb uptown. Alcohol brokers had been using Mulberry Bend as their base of operations, but they'd recently moved to 40th Street. This left a vacuum for title of Guys That You Shouldn't Mess With, which meant peacocking and jockeying for reputation. Now, maybe it's just a coincidence, but a scant 2 weeks after the boozers moved out of the neighborhood, a group of young men started running about, stealing the hats from factory workers and stomping on them in anticipation of Felt Hat Day. While the factory workers seemed to let the boys have their destructive fun, when the teens turned next to the dock workers, they found a group less welcoming of their pranks. That's a bad idea.
No, you don't want to fuck with dock workers.
Very scary. You guys ever go hang out down by the docks?
The harbor area is really revitalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fairy lights, mason jars, yeah. 100%.
Exactly.
We'll go to the docks after this?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Take a
Let's see
little
how it
trip.
goes.
The dock workers fought back, leading to a brawl that stopped traffic across the Manhattan Bridge. The streets were littered with broken brims, crushed caps, and torpedoed toppers. According to accounts, quote, scores of rowdies took part the first day, leading to police reserves to be called out, and the arrests of 7 men for disorderly conduct. The magistrate at the men's night court, a man named, I kid you not, Peter Hatting.
Peter what?
Peter Hatting.
Peter Hatting.
H-A-T-T.
This guy's not going to take hat destruction lightly.
Not in his fucking one.
Absolutely not. He, of course, gave the men fines of $5 each and said the next man to come before him for breaking a hat would be sent to jail. I guess a fine is something with $5 back then. It's a pretty penny.
You could buy a house for $5 back then.
Yeah.
That's true.
Unlike Magistrate Sweetser, Magistrate Hatting sided with, not assaulting people, saying, quote, it is against the law to smash a man's hat, and he has a right to wear it in a January snowstorm if he wishes. I want you to spread this word among all who would smash hats. A man's hat is just as much his property and just as much to be defended as his watch, and the courts are going to enforce the laws. Decisive.
I also kind of feel like the person that would take a hat off and stomp on it on the ground is not going to really be deterred by a warning.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be a cultural shift, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is it that these youths don't have that they are using smashing hats to replace?
They don't have like a Game Boy Color or some shit like that.
Fucking Judge Hatting should get some Game Boys and start
that's
passing
right.
them out.
Well, Magistrate Hatting's warning turned out to be not quite enough. The next night, police leaving for their 8 p.m. patrols were warned. It was going to be absolute hell out there. Thousands of men and boys roamed the streets, many armed with long sticks with nails or wires sticking out, all the easier to knock the lid off of anyone foolish enough to be wearing a straw hat.
This is like when Bane took over Gotham. This is insane, dude. Holy shit. 1,000? Did you say 1,000?
Thousands of men and boys.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That period of time, the amount of things that were just like, yes, these events kind of are explained, but there's got to be some other shit that was at work.
Yeah.
So the idea of like thousands of men being like, I have nothing else. I work in a factory. I don't see the sun. God help me, I will smash a hat today.
It's also beautiful that all these thousands of men came to that conclusion on their own and just walked out of their door with a spiky stick and was like, you too, huh?
Some guy with like suspenders over his undershirt, just eating out of a tin can, looks through like the grimy basement window and sees men with sticks with nails in it and is like, it's time.
You know what?
I've been activated.
If I heard the broad strokes of this and I was a bored youth in the 1920s, I'd probably be like, knocking hats off heads? That sounds fun. I'll get out there. I'll join you. Stick it to some stockbrokers. You can see how you could get swept up in this, right?
I could see it.
I just really like that this is yet another thing that emanated from Wall Street and totally ruined a huge section of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a perfect record for them.
They're fucking nailing it, dude.
Even plainclothes police, apparently wearing straw hats and therefore, in this puppet's opinion, guilty of entrapment, would have their heads unceremoniously exposed by roving gangs. One Sergeant Brittney Lee, after being de-hatted, ran after the kids who had done exactly what he expected them to do. In the process, he was tripped and fell face first into a gutter.
Did he die?
No.
Oh. I gotta say, I don't like when you take a hat off just like some, innocent bystander's head, but taking a hat off a cop, that is really funny.
It's also very funny because like the modern hyper-militarized police that we have today, the idea of someone in full SWAT gear, massive tower shield, and like a little barbershop quartet straw hat is just a fun visual.
Now, some dozen or so kids were caught by the grown-up police and hauled into the station. 7 of them were immediately sentenced by the lieutenant at the desk. Oh, it's quiz time. What was their punishment? A, $500 fines, the equivalent of $10,000 today. B, spankings. Or C, 1 month imprisonment in the children's prison.
All right.
Okay, what do you got, Ryan?
I put B, red buttocks.
Red buttocks, okay. Brennan, what do you got?
Put C, prison.
Okay, anyway, we're gonna find out via the magic of theater once again. Whoa, let's be transported to another time. Here we go.
Well, young man, you've been arrested for taking a hat off of a person's head and then stomping on it. You think that sort of thing is funny?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Well, it's actually very bad. Are you gonna do it again?
I mean, dude, honestly, if you let me back out on these streets, I'm gonna grab the first straw hat I see and dance a little jig on it.
Oh, okay. So you have zero remorse.
That's correct, sir. In fact, I suspect I may be the funniest kid alive.
Such disrespect! You've left me no choice. I sentence you to have your parents come down here and give you a little spanking.
Wow.
Wait, what? As soon as your parents get down here, they're gonna tan your little hide. They're gonna smack your caboose. What?
That actually does kind of suck.
Incredible. Wow. That's so good.
What if the parents say no? Is he like, all right, now you're all getting spanked?
Now I'm gonna spank you.
Now I'm gonna spank the whole family.
Whoa, that one's crazy, huh?
You ever been spanked before, Professor?
Quite regularly.
That's surprising.
I'm a nasty little boy. A jelly bean for Ryan, yay! Look at you.
What is that, 3 now?
Yes, spankings! That's the kind of riot we're dealing with here. Now, even if the consequences were pretty minor, the Straw Hat Riots were the talk of the town. It's hard to pinpoint exactly how an informal dress code sparked a multi-day riot, but there are plenty of theories going around. Some even thought Big Hat was responsible. Have the kids destroy the city's hats so the people buy more hats. As the New York Tribune wrote, quote, some hat stores kept their doors open long after the usual closing time and did a thriving business in soft hats. In some instances, the police reported that youthful marauders were suspiciously active in the immediate vicinity of such stores. Conspiracy theories aren't just for moon landings and Kennedy assassinations.
I mean, I will say if I was a haberdasher, I'd be cleaning up.
Absolutely.
I'd be finding any neighborhood rowdies and being like, hey, check it out. I sell a hat for $3.
Yeah.
You guys get 50 cents per smashed hat. No problem.
Or you could make an unsmashable hat.
Whoa!
And that would appeal to the other people on the other side.
Just like a straw hat, but with a frying pan underneath it?
You probably have like a hat trap, right? Like have a straw hat, metal band under it, spikes going up.
Exactly.
Before it comes down. God!
Yeah.
You know, a bunch of stockbrokers going to the hospital and some guy looks at a camera and is like, thanks to my Flenderson hat trap.
The Straw Hat Riots faded out over the middle of September. Honestly, likely because people stopped wearing their straw hats like they were gonna anyways. Now, they just have incentive to dust off their fedoras a bit early. Over the next few years, there were a few isolated cases of people forcibly removing straw hats, but by the early 1930s, straw hat smashing was essentially a thing of the past. Why? A, fashion's a fickle mistress. B, first day of public school was moved earlier. Or C, World War II.
I'm closing the gap here.
Are you?
C, war.
Okay. And Brennan?
A, fashion is a fickle mistress.
Closing the gap, you are not, because that's a jelly bean for Brennan!
Fuck.
It seems stiff-brimmed hats such as the straw hat just fell out of fashion. According to the July 1922 edition of the Haberdasher, the straw hat was already on its way out per, quote, that incubator of men's fashions, the Yale Quadrangle. Yeah, those Ivy League squares were dictating what looked good back then. According to one Eli, quote, the straw boda is too precise, too prim, besides which, and there's the rub, it is the chapeau of the multitude. Snobby. The straw hat had come full circle. The rules for being popular were too well known, and new rules were already on their way.
Also, probably was just not as cool anymore to smash the straw hats. Like, I imagine there was probably one day where somebody did it and was like, ha ha ha, and then no one else was laughing, and it was like, oh.
I also think probably an underreported element of this is, think of the texture and quality of smashing a straw hat versus a felt hat.
Satisfying.
Really satisfying
Yeah,
to crush a straw
that's
hat.
true.
It's like hitting a piñata.
All right.
We're nearing the end of the story here. You guys, I mean, have you ever been victim of jumping on a fashion trend and then it fading from society?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I do is I
Right.
jump on the trend about a month late,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty much only wearing something that's fashionable for about a week.
One of the most stressful moments of my life was being on an episode of Breaking News and just being asked to name 5 trends. Just any trends, just trends. My only experience in life is doing deeply uncool things, and then every once in a while, those deeply uncool things will become wildly popular
Right.
20 years after I started doing them.
Broken clock, right twice a day.
Yes, I very much submit to the broken clock strategy.
Well, not all history is beheadings. Sometimes it's just behattings.
There it is.
Well, that concludes our history lesson. I'm gonna go vibe with the tallies and see who receives the coveted capsules and title of History Wizard. In the meantime, enjoy this performance from a straw hat. Wow!
Nice. Hat has a black eye. So good.
A lovely day spent strolling down good old Mulberry Bend. I was on top of the world and on top of the mop of a dandy fellow's head. But look out over there. It's the neighborhood boys and they're shooting us pens. So what for? What have I done? Well, I think we'd better run. Heads up, take stock of what's on your noggin. Straw hats, drawn flat, my man, you're cruising for a flogging. Societal works have taken a turn for the worse because of these straw hat stomping teenage jerks. Will I do my best to give a guy a snazzy sense of class? Try selling that to the boys with the bats who wanna kick my woven ass. Oh, we're mocked, oh, we're cooked. Turned a corner to find the lads are carrying hooks. So one swipe, one yeet, and I was thrown onto the street. Heads up, you better be mindful of your fashion and ties. Inspiring iron, buddy, you're headed for a lashing. Societal quirks are taking a turn for the worse because of these straw hat fashion teenagers. Those boys really rocked my shit. It seems my mere existence made those street toughs throw a fit. Threw me down a sewer drain. I'm pretty sure the guy who wore me lost a bit of brain. So heads up, take stock of what's on your noggin. Straw hats, straw black, my man, you're cruising for a blogging. Societal quirks are taking a turn for the worse because of these straw hat stomping teenage jerks.
Okay. Bravo, bravo. Why do eyes on a hat make me feel totally fine and then teeth on a hat make me feel really viscerally upset?
That was a strange performance for me all around. I have to say, and I don't know why it hit me so hard.
You know what that really reminded me of? The cars from the final musical number of The Brave Little Toaster.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah, big Brave Little Toaster vibes from that guy.
You're worthless. Cars are really fucked up. They're very depressed.
Oh, okay. You guys are never going to believe this, but according to our simple tally, Brennan Lee Mulligan is today's winner!
Thank you very much. An
yes.
honor and a privilege to be able to compete.
But isn't everyone a winner when you've got a bottle of Forget It All in your hand? Come get your prizes, both of you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's our corporate sponsor for the season. Forget It All, now mildly compatible with heavy machinery. Yay!
Mildly compatible,
Yeah, so the Once Daily Brain Pill. That's gonna do it for this one. Brennan, thank you so much for joining us. Ryan, thanks for being a friend. And to everyone at home, thanks for watching Puppet History, where the details are always quite fuzzy. We'll see you next time. Whoa! There we go, whoa!
Ingredients. Lorem ipsum dolores.
What the hell are you doing, man?
Sorry,
Doing some stretching?
I was doing tummy time.
Oh yeah. Tell me. Who's the DILF in the lab coat?
Oh, did we not discuss that? That's Dr. Spratt from the Department of Puppet Safety. He's been around since, I don't totally remember. He's making sure we're not wrinkling the fabric of the universe by safely retiring the singing puppets. I think they have like paperwork or something to do. I don't know.
Hello, boys.
Oh, hey Elmer.
Those fine folks over at Forget It All wanted me to send you some free product. You want some?
Don't have to twist my arm.
It's really great. No side effects, just operating on a higher plane, you know? Easy living. It's like they say, ask your physician about Forget It All, but be sure to whisper.
Buddy, you had me when you offered me a random pill to swallow.
I mean, you know me. I can't say no to anything roughly jelly bean sized.
Very good, very good.
Down the hatch.
Oh, yeah. That's tasty. Oh, Dorothy Ruth, hey.
Where? Oh, you know better than to do that to a horse.
What? Oh, hey. Yeah, got you. Greetings.
Hello. And hello to you. Sweetheart, darling, my relationship horse. Oh, I love you so with my big, weird 10-pound horse heart. Give me kissy.
What's going on with those horses?
No. Hey, say, you two wouldn't mind keeping an eye on my hot filly for me while I finish up my work.
Yeah, whatever you say, dude.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. All right, farewell, my sweet. I'll see you at dinner. No, fuck off. Bye-bye.
Come on, dude.
Boys, listen up and listen good, because I don't know how long I can keep this thought in my head. I'm foggy. See, I'm foggy as the rest of you, but I got a horsey hunch that somebody's up to something. Everyone's doped up like a bunch of hopheads, drifting about like clouds with days to kill before the big rain.
Hey, no, we're professionals.
Yeah, and I'm Professor Chanel. I don't know what my name is anymore.
Pull together, man. Come on now.
No, this isn't right at all. I keep having these dreams, see? With my dear departed husband, Stanley Melvin. But they feel so real. It's like he's talking to me from the other side, and it's like it was before the molasses swallowed him up and made my heart all mucky. So what if he stomped those mice? He was a good man and he knew how to make love like a horse. And then here comes Elmer Walter Williams to peck at the pieces of my busted ticker like a damn crow. Like I'm some sort of clueless co-ed with 2 dimes in her pocket as a cherry red caddy cruises by on a summer night when the air is soaking wet with the smell of asphalt and sex.
I love when the air is soaking wet with those smells.
Oh, yeah. No, you louts, you sops, you absolute men. To hell with you!
Oh, come, hey.
Dorothy, no, come on.
She's got it.
Oh my God, this is a stunning woman.
Stunning, right? Seeing her clap away.
I'm so flexible.
All right.
Oh,
that's good.
Yeah.
Something in Tinseltown stank like a road apple, and if no one else had the cojones to shovel it up, then it was time to clop to it. Because when the cold wind whinnies and malarkey's a hoof, it's a job for Dorothy Ruth, horsey sleuth. Beefy and the professor were no help. they'd taken their eyes off the prize, and they'd know it too if they weren't whacked halfway to Saskatoon on forget-it-all 25 hours a day. Now, who am I to judge? Tried one free sample, I think. And ever since, I feel like I've been playing hide-and-seek with my own damn brain. Oh, well. And where was that deadbeat producer, Shane? Seems he hired those other fellas and just plumb disappeared. Things just weren't adding up. But before I started munching on hunches, I had to sever ties with Elmer Walter Williams. I met him at our place, the Brown Derby. Dr. Spratt? Hello, Elmer. Hey. Where? Oh, you know better. Sorry. Hello. Excuse me. You get a spot out there? The parking lot's a zoo. I'm a horse. I don't drive a car. Anyway, did I just see you with that Department of Puppet safety guy? Oh, Hoagie? He had to run. He was just venting to me about how hard his job is. Oh, I don't like retiring the puppets. Oh no, are we killing them? I'm like, we all got jobs, pal. Ugh. Anyway, I've ordered some chicken piccata for myself and a nice little treat for you. Elmer, I think we need to break up. Break up? You mean dissolve this equine affair? Is that what you'd call it? And what is this exactly? Because I've been wondering lately, what do we even mean to each other? And before you try to answer that, because I know you're awfully handy with words, I'll trot straight to the chase. You mean nothing to me, Elmer. You swooped in when I was mad with grief over the loss of the world's hardest horse, my one and only lover, Stanley Melvin. And you really secured the bag, didn't you? Got yourself a good time, gal. And sure, you and I had some fun times. Parcheesi at Mystic Dance, sugar cubes in Milan, galloping wild through the streets of London until one of us got hit by a bus. Oh, bloody hell. We have had some fun. We have, but it isn't a life, Elmer, whatever we have. It's glitter. It's parade confetti. It's dazzling at night, and here comes the morning to wash it down the gutter. Whatever grip you once had on me is loosened. I've tried to tell you softly. I've tried to do it loudly and with F words. And now I'm telling you finally and resolutely. We're finished. Well, I'm disappointed, but I respect your decision. Oh, okay. Wow. Frankly, I'm shocked by this response. Now, what am I gonna do? Get on my hands and knees? In the words of Gwyneth Paltrow, I wish you well. You know, in any case, let's enjoy one last dinner together. I ordered your favorite while I was waiting. Spaghetti alla melassa. Oh, and here it is.
Spaghetti alla melassa.
Put it down and walk away, you piece of shit.
Yes, my apologies, sir. Please enjoy.
Well, I shouldn't, but when it comes to pasta, Mama can't say no. Ooh, somebody likes it. God, I'm gonna miss you. Yes, but the time has come. We both see it now. We're no damn good for each other.
Was just a filly falling fast for a stud. The elegant Stanley, love of my life, lost forever to a murky flood. And then I held out my hand, huff, and I said, hey, pretty lady, tell me why the long face? And so this equine tete-a-tete began. But now I get the feeling, the feeling's gone. Think you're moving on, Horse to horse, we've run our course and we both know it. Well, I'm still reeling, were you really mine? And now you're peeling toward the finish line. Once in love, but love ain't love if you don't show it. So well, I'm putting my hoof and I'm putting my hoof and my other two hoofs down. Our love ran off in the dark of night. Giddy up, gone, yeah, why don't you clip clop out of my life? Now who can say where we went wrong? But deep down had a nagging intuition that our romance wouldn't last for long.
want you to know that you're a decent guy.
Thanks.
But I never would have looked in your direction if my Stanley hadn't gone and died. We rode it hard and put it back wet. What a kick, and that's a wrap. Take it out by the shed. Put a bullet in its head. Horsey can and horsey butt. Horsey just can't give a fuck. Horsey snort and horsey neck. Horsey go separate ways. So I put my hoof and I put my hoof and my other two hoofs down. I love running out in the dark of night. Giddy up, gon' get a bunch of flip flop out of my life. With a horsey my hoof and a horsey my hoof and my other two hoofs down. I love's all wrong. Horsey with the time is right. Horsey with his own. Horsey, horsey to us. Now when two horses find a love within each other and they're taking horsey hard synchronously flutter, you grab the reins and you hope to see it through. Horsey eyeballs are blind to why you ever thought the two of you made any little horsey sense together. You face the facts and turn that damn love into glue. Yes, you do. Put my hoof and you put my hoof and my other two hoofs down. Your friend off in the dark of night. Giddy up, don't clip clop out of your life.
Oh, now that we've got all that taken care of, I meant to ask, I've got a funny feeling that something grade A screwy is going on over at the show. I mean, something's going on. Something is going on somewhere, and what are we doing here again?
We were discussing the future. We were discussing our future. Yes, we were discussing our future. Check, please.
Itching for more puppet history? Well, head on over to Watcher TV for all of Season 7 plus extended cuts.